Okay, so now we are on live. Yay! Hello, Isaac. How you going? um, so hello everyone. My name is Vanessa. I am the founder. My English is awesome. Founder of Humans of Beekeeping. It comes from the need to expand the knowledge around the world about beekeepers and beekeeping, and the need to share the love. Today we have Isaac here, and Isaac, I've met you in I think November or December last year. During my first trip of Humans of Beekeeping. I was very keen to meet you because I've heard you were such a young bloke keeping, you know, bees, and you had that drive about it and that kindness too. So I really wanted to meet you. But yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about you, please?
Sure. I'm 14, almost 15. I'm in United School, and I started beekeeping about 3 years ago, I think.
Okay. Where do you live? Where are you located?
I live in Sydney, Northbridge. So, yeah, pretty urban area.
Yeah. How many hives do you keep at the moment? And
I have about 20 hives, so that's almost 250,000 bees.
wow, that's a lot. The question that I have, and I'm sure a lot of people have, is what attracted you to beekeeping?
For a long time, I was really interested in honey beekeeping, and I was watching YouTube videos, sort of classic being bored. And that sort of died down after a while. And because I thought, oh, it just costs too much money, I can't really afford it right now. And then not too long after that, my school actually mentioned to me that they were thinking of buying a native beehive. And I was like, that would be awesome. So I was like, yes, we should get it. Yes, we should get it. And they eventually got a grant from the government. And so we organized to buy a native beehive, and I was asked to look after it. So that's pretty much what started my passion. And now I'm addicted.
It is an addiction, isn't it? That's great. That's awesome. See, I think when I came and visited you, I didn't ask you that question, so I'm glad I did right now. So how long ago was that?
That was when I was in year 6, so a little bit less than 3 years ago.
So it's been nearly 3 years. Wow, that's good. So what I mean, you get a chance to have both native and honeybees down in Sydney, but what got you to choose now to stick around with native bees rather than honeybees?
Yeah, it's a lot of things. Firstly, honeybees are a lot more maintenance intensive. So, like, I'm sure you know, of course, they're a lot more work. And because I have to manage it with schools also, and I'm already spending a lot of time on my native bees. Yes, that's one of the reasons. I love them because they're stingless, so they can't hurt me. They can't hurt any of my friends, my family. Um, I have a sibling that hasn't been stung by a bee yet, so I don't know if she's allergic. Yeah, so there's lots of different reasons. I also love how they're Australian. They're the Australian bee. You can't find them in many other places. Um, yeah, when I look at them, they look really strong and muscular, and they're such hard workers. I just love them.
Aww. See, you were talking about your family just before, and what clicked in my head is that I met your parents, and I thought they were very great. But how do you feel, and how do you think, how supportive are they to you with this experience of keeping all those bees?
So they have to chauffeur me around to workshops that I attend and stuff, so that they've been fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. See, I think that's a great example to any parents that have young kids that are so keen with bees and beekeeping or any type of interest that they have to drive a lot. I think that your parents are a great example for that, of how to do it. Yeah. So, you're young. young. You are young. There's younger than you, but you are young compared to me. I wonder, what is your inspiration, and who do you think you will be inspiring right now, or you wish to inspire?
Well, the people I wish to inspire is definitely people around my age who are increasingly more like on their phones, on their computers, things like that. And sometimes I find myself falling into that too. So I'm like, no, go outside, look at the bees. So I hope to sort of inspire people to more connect with nature, even people older than me who are doing sort of the same thing. And yeah, look after such an important part of our ecosystem, the bees.
Yeah. So, and you're the person that you look up to?
Yeah, so many people. Like I've, for example, Sarah from Be Yourself. She's lovely. I definitely aspire to be somewhat like her. Um, Definitely Tim Hurd from Sugar Bag Bees. He's so knowledgeable. I'd be so happy if I knew half of what he knew. Um, Native Bee Nick, he's a fantastic educator as well. He's really passionate, and I just love his sort of vibe, you know. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome, and they're all Australians. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Is so you obviously rescue bees from logs, and you obviously do a lot of hands-on work with bees. What's the funniest moment of your beekeeping career?
Yeah. Well, probably when I was first looking after my school's hive, I had never been to a workshop or looked inside a hive or seen a hive in observation window or anything like that. I'd only really read books, um, sort of done internet research, that sort of thing. So I wasn't very experienced. And after my school had had the hive for about a year, they said, "So, do you want to split it?" And I was like, "Sure." So then I split the hive for them, and there were maybe 10 teachers around filming me with their phones, and they were all like, "Oh, how many times have you done this?" And I was like, "This is the first." So that was probably the most embarrassing time.
That would have been awkward, yeah. But it's great, if you don't, there's always a first time. And I guess
That was the
how was
yeah,
the split?
yeah. I've split them 2 times now, so there's 4 hives,
Wow.
and I actually sold 2 of them, so they've refunded. They've now funded the original cost of the hive.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. So who's going to look after that hive when you finish school?
Well, hopefully I'll inspire some. My school has sort of an environment committee, so I think they'll probably appoint someone to look after it. And of course, it's not that hard to look after, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Did you had a chance already to collect some honey from that hive?
Well, all the teachers always like, when will I have some honey to put on my toast? But um, they've more wanted to focus on splitting the hive. I said you have the option of either collecting honey or splitting the hive, and they'd rather increase the number of bees that they have at the school and in the
Mhm.
area than like get a little bit of honey. Yeah.
But because the native bees work in such a way that when they come to 8 kilos, you can either split them or collect, let them build up some honey store. Is that right? Am I wrong?
And of course, when we open the hive to split it, they can dip their fingers in a broken honey pot and taste it. So lots of people have tasted it, and it is very delicious.
Very delicious. Is there any medical or medicinal benefits from the honey?
Yeah. So there's some people have been doing lots of research and tests, and there's some tests that are showing that it's quite possibly almost as twice as medicinal as manuka honey. So it's definitely got some potent medicinal qualities, and that's quite possibly one of the theories of where that comes from. Is so native bees don't make the hive just out of wax like honeybees do. The hive's a lot darker, and that's because they mix it with propolis. They mix it with tree resin, sorry, to make propolis. And the tree resins that is in the propolis, where they store the honey, they make honey pots out of propolis that can actually infuse with the honey. So lots of the medicinal properties of the tree resins is then part of the honey as well. So that's one of the theories of where it
That's awesome. It's amazing. I didn't know that. So I'm learning right now. I actually saw a video not long ago of someone collecting the propolis from the hive.
comes.
Have you ever done that before?
I haven't gone out of my way to collect it, but I did once have a hive that died just of they'd failed to requeen. So it was very sad, but I decided I might as well salvage all of the leftover propolis in there. So what I did is I basically just put it in a big pan and melted it sort of like you do chocolate. You know how you have a pan, water, and the propolis bowl. And then I just put it into cupcake holders and waited for it to dry. And I can just put them outside and the bees will forage. So forage, like collect that propolis and use it in their hive. So it's putting it back, giving it back to the bees.
Oh, wow. Yeah. When you do that and you put it outside, do honeybees come for it?
I have seen honeybees even around the entrance of the hives, sort of scraping off propolis sometimes, but I haven't seen them on just propolis that I put out. But I have seen fire-tailed resin bees. Lots of bees like to try and solitary bees, so they're not bees that live in hives. They like to try and scavenge some of the bees in their nest.
For you, what is the greatest difficulty in beekeeping?
One of the things is that I find it very difficult to balance like all my schoolwork with beekeeping. So sometimes I do fall a little bit behind, or I have to take a day off school to do a workshop at another school. So that can be a little bit of a struggle. It's also I'm always trying my best not to kill any bees, and so it's really sad if the hardest part definitely is when you lose a hive, and that's 5,000 bees that it was basically my responsibility for looking for that just died. So that can feel pretty bad sometimes, yeah.
I guess it's part of,
Part of
beekeeping. It is hard. I understand. I don't like when I lose one of my hives. It's not nice. But you say, do you give workshops or do you go to workshops?
Well, I of course, when I was sort of learning about it, I went to lots of workshops. I tried to learn as much as I could. I've helped Dan Smales from Sydney Native Bees out with one workshop, and that was an awesome experience. It was really cool to see how he ran things, and that was to sort of get a sense of how maybe I might want to do a similar thing in the future. Yeah, so I haven't got my own yet.
No. You haven't got your own, but is that in the plan?
Yeah, I hope to do some in the future.
Cool. For you, what's the most enjoyable? Like, we come from one side. What's the hardest thing? Now we're going from the other side, and I'm asking. I want to know what's the most enjoyable part. Enjoyable. Oh, I can't speak. Sorry. Enjoyable part of beekeeping.
Yeah. I'd say it's when it's a nice, lovely, warm day, and I can sit outside with a cup of tea or an iced drink even. And I can just watch the bees going in and out of the hive, working hard, collecting pollen, bringing back pollen. And it's just really therapeutic. And of course, I also love splitting hives. It's fascinating to see the spiral of the brood, all the different structures, the intricate structures, where they've stored their honey, where they've stored the pollen. And it just fascinates me. And I'm constantly learning new things. And every day I'm mind blown by these bees.
I think you were saying that you wanted to put some beehives into schools. Is that still?
Yeah. So I've already put I think about 5 hives into schools, and along with that, I do a little 10-20 minute workshop with the kids. It's hard to keep their attention for longer, obviously, but I was amazed actually to see how much the kids knew about bees just from having a hive and sort of the pre-education the teachers had put into before I came. So I think it'd be fantastic if more schools could teach kids at such a young age that not only are there bees and they're really important, but there's 20,000 species of bees, and most of them don't even live in hives. Because I learned that 3 years ago, and most adults still haven't learned. I'm always speaking to new people, and they're like, sorry, stings bees. No, bees sting. And so if they learned that from a young age, it'd be much easier to say
Sorry, we had a bit of a car issue. The car came past and was very loud. That's I think you're totally right. Plus, the fact that you want to put beehives into schools. What's cool about you is that you're putting the beehive, but the native stingless bees. So it's less of a worry for the parents. Like, I'm a parent, and I can tell. And straight away, as soon as you say you have honeybees at home, it's oh my god, this is so scary. It's not scary, but you have the advantage to have stingless bees.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I think, yeah.
To school to split their hive, and the bees will, the children were all standing around. They had bees all over their arms. They were just looking at them like this, and it was really cute because you probably couldn't have honeybees crawling over children. That would be a bit of a risk, but that's sort of a more intimate way, I suppose, and especially for kids, that's an easy way to connect with the bees.
That's good. When you go close to a hive, when I go close to my hive, for example, at the moment I can see my bees here at the front of the house. They're doing their flying cleansing flights and pooing everywhere, and it's a cloud of them. But if I was to go very close to them, the sound is different every time. Like in the morning, you could hear them 6 o'clock, and they're not humming, they're buzzing. Is the native bees have specific, nose or no?
Yeah, so they don't. I've noticed that they buzz much more if it's a hot day. So I assume that's because they're trying to cool down, keep it, sort of get rid of some moisture maybe in the air. So the buzzing definitely does change a lot. And if you annoy them, like you accidentally knock it a little bit, they might go zzz, and some bees will fly out and try and attack you, even though they can't really do much damage.
Cute. Trying to attack you.
Yeah.
What do you think you're not good at?
Sometimes I struggle to speak to adults, sort of get them engaged. I'm not sure, because it's more my age group that I am targeting towards, I suppose. It's a bit easier for me to speak to people my age, and I haven't been an adult yet. So yeah, sometimes it's a bit difficult to if sometimes it's also difficult for adults to sort of listen to me. A lot of the time adults know more than me, but of course there's times when older people don't know that there are native bees, so when I try to explain that, it can be a bit hard. They're like, yeah, are you sure? So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm not so good at. Yeah.
It's a terrible way. Now, if there are any adults listening, I want to say it out loud. So I can feel your energy, and I know you know a lot, and I can understand exactly what you're saying. Elizabeth, my eldest, you met her. She's a box of knowledge, and basically she can hold a conversation with an adult about anything and everything for half an hour, about politics, about what's happening in the world, about the sharks, and sometimes you can feel the energy of another adult coming and not wanting to speak anything with Elizabeth, because Elizabeth is like, a child, and why would a child know better than an adult? And it's like, no, you have to listen to the kids. So yeah, so message for adults over there, out there that are listening today, when it's going to be, listen to the kids. They know a lot, and you're not a kid, but you're still a kid.
Are extremely supportive, and most of the time I'm learning something from them, not the other way around.
I think you're amazing, and what you're doing is great. I mean, such a young age, and you know, that's powerful. And like that will lead me to my last question, and my last question will be: where do you see yourself in 3 years?
Well, I want to have as many hives as I can manage. I want to be helping all the local wildlife bushland around me, and I want to have some hives in Queensland, hopefully harvest a little bit of honey, a little bit of propolis. I want to start building my own hives, making bee hotels. I also want to put some bee hotels in national parks and things like that to encourage native bees in those areas where people won't have sort of backyard hives. And yeah, I want to be producing hives and educating, spreading my love for native bees.
Oh, I think you already are doing this. It's amazing. Well, I have to thank you so much. It was amazing to speak with you. It was amazing to meet with you. I have some videos and some photos on my phone of you when I came. It was wonderful, especially when you climb on the roof of the garage to, you know, do the daredevil and bring the bees to us for us to be able to see them. Don't do that. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If anyone has any questions or comments, you know, write down below. I will link down your Facebook and Instagram page for everyone to have a look at. And I'm wishing you all the best. You're awesome, dude. All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
No worries.